I will never forget that night. My name is Daniel, and my wife, Lauren, and I had been married for 6 years. Our anniversary was just around the corner, and I wanted to make it special. I pictured a quiet, intimate dinner with just our families, a celebration of the years we had shared together. I went all out, booking a table at a beautiful restaurant, ordering flowers, and even picking out a small gift I knew she would absolutely love. I just wanted the night to be perfect. Lauren arrived with our families, and she was all smiles, laughing and chatting. I tried to relax, just hoping the evening would go smoothly. We were seated at a large table, both our families together, and everything seemed perfectly normal at first. The food arrived, the wine was poured, and a warm sense of contentment washed over me. I even smiled at my brother Alex, who was sitting right across from me. I was so glad he could be there to celebrate with us. And then it happened. I was reaching for the bottle of wine, and when I turned back, I saw it. Lauren was leaning across the table, her lips pressed against my brother's. My entire world froze. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. All the sounds in the restaurant, the laughter, the chatter, the clinking of glasses, it all just faded into an echoing silence. I just stared, completely dumbfounded, as my wife and my brother shared a kiss right there, in front of both of our families, as if nothing else in the world mattered. I felt my chest tighten, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst right out. A storm of confusion, shock, and betrayal crashed inside me. Why? How? Why here? Why now? Our anniversary dinner, something I had planned with so much love, something I had imagined as a moment of pure joy, was completely shattered in an instant. I tried to compose myself, to make sense of what I was seeing, but it was undeniable. The kiss had happened. My brother, the person I trusted more than anyone, was part of it. My wife, the woman I had loved, chosen, and committed my life to, had just violated that trust in the most public way imaginable. I looked around at our families. Lauren's mother and father were exchanging these awkward, pained glances. My own parents' faces were frozen in shock. Alex quickly pulled back, trying to act as if nothing had happened, but the damage was done. The air was thick with it. I felt this overwhelming wave of humiliation. Not just as a husband, but as a man, as a brother, as someone who had put his trust in the two people closest to him. I mumbled an excuse and left the table, barely able to breathe. I stepped outside into the cool night air, desperate for space, desperate to think, to process this colossal betrayal. My mind was racing. How long had this been going on? Was this just a one-time lapse in judgment, or was this something they had been planning? Were they laughing behind my back this whole time? The questions burned like fire in my chest, each one more painful than the last. When I finally went back inside, I pulled them both aside, away from the families. My voice was low, trembling with a mix of rage and hurt. "Lauren, Alex, what was that? How could you do this, here now in front of everyone?" Lauren looked at me, her eyes a confusing mix of guilt and defiance. "Daniel, it's not what you think," she said softly, but her tone held no conviction. It was hollow. "Not what I think. I saw it. I felt it." "How could you betray me like this?" I demanded, my voice rising despite my desperate attempts to stay calm. Alex started stammering, trying to explain, but he couldn't even look me in the eye. "Daniel, it just happened. We didn't mean for it to." "Didn't mean for it?" I snapped back. "You kissed my wife, my brother, at our anniversary dinner, in front of our families. How is that not intentional?" Lauren just stood there in silence, her eyes fixed on the floor. The full weight of their betrayal hit me like a sledgehammer. And in that gut-wrenching moment, I realized that everything I had believed about our marriage, about our family, was a lie. The trust, the love, the respect, all of it had been completely undermined in one single shocking act. I didn't know how to react. Part of me wanted to scream, to lash out, to just destroy everything around me. But another part, the part that understood the long-term consequences, took control. I knew I couldn't undo what had happened, but I could act decisively. I could refuse to let them manipulate me or shame me any further. That night I went home alone. Lauren followed me, pleading, explaining, apologizing. I didn't respond. I didn't yell. I simply walked away. The betrayal was too deep, the trust too broken. I couldn't even begin to imagine continuing a life with someone who could humiliate me so completely, with someone who had crossed every line imaginable. In the days that followed, I stayed away. I packed my things, found a temporary place to stay, and began the painful process of separating my life from Lauren and from Alex. Our friends and family were shocked. Some were sympathetic and supportive. Others just couldn't understand how I could walk away so calmly. But I knew, deep down, that leaving was the only real choice I had. Staying would have meant accepting betrayal, humiliation, and a total lack of respect. It would have meant accepting a life where I was second best. As I started to heal, I reflected on our marriage, on the little moments that had led to this point. The subtle lies I'd overlooked, the secretive messages on her phone, the growing emotional distance between us, all of them had been signs, red flags. I had ignored them, hoping that love alone could fix whatever was broken. But I learned a hard lesson. Love isn't enough when respect and loyalty are gone. Months later, the divorce was finalized. Lauren and Alex had to face the consequences of their choices, not through any revenge or humiliation from my end, but simply through the absence of my presence, my love, and my support in their lives. My own life slowly began to return to a new kind of normal. I focused on rebuilding my sense of self,